again, the exercises that are inside Google, those are not being graded, but they're very, very important to learn. Because the great thing about this course is that it combines the best of what Google's tutorial has, combined with PassStream's own tutorials, which, as you know, there is videos from all over the internet, plus all the explanation in the module. Okay, so let's do this video first. You need to play the first video. It takes a little while, so just be a little patient.
So, you've created your first search campaign. The next step is to set up ad groups, keywords, and ads. Let's get started. Now, a campaign is a collection of ad groups. What's that, we hear you say? An ad group is just a collection of keywords and their ads. Going back to our flower shop example, you might have a campaign for flowers and an ad group for each flower type. In this video, we'll show you how to pick the right keywords. But before we jump in, let's go over what they are and how they work with people's searches. Let's say someone types a search query into the Google search box and are then shown search results. Keywords give you the chance to show your ads as part of those answers. Think of them as words which trigger your ads to appear. The key is to pick keywords that match search relevant to your business. So if someone's search matches some special flowers you're selling, your ad can show. The easiest way to find keywords related to your business is with the Keyword Planner tool in Google Ads. The on-screen wizard takes you here after.
So this is why this is so important that you have your Google account. Because once you have your Google account, then you have your Google Ads account, which is basically the same login and password, and it should actually open automatically when you go to the Google Ads, okay? And you can start using this tool, because even though this whole section explains to you how to do, oh my God, it went, I hope I have to play it all the way from the same place. Let me see. What I was saying is, even though this tells you how to choose the keywords, there is a keyword tool.
You've created your first search campaign.
So this is the keyword
tool. The next step is to set up ad groups, keywords, and ads. Let's get started.
Already.
Now, a campaign is a collection of ad groups. What's that? We'll show you how to pick the right keywords. But before, shown search results. Keywords give you the chance to words related to your business is with the Keyword Planner tool in Google Ads. The on-screen wizard takes
and you see you can put here the website.
Take a look at the Get Keywords Ideas section. You can also find Keyword Planner in Google Ads by clicking on the tool icon in the upper right corner. Start off by telling the Keyword Planner a little bit about the business, all the important stuff, like your.
And if you're a little bit lost, so let's go now to, let's open Google here. Let's say you're like, oh, I don't know where to go. Just put Keyword Planner. So don't click the ad, right? So here, go to Keyword Planner. If you haven't signed in, then you sign in first. Okay. Remember, it also told you just go to, here's the tools. Oh, this is the Keyword Planner. So you can create it by you. I haven't created anyone, so you click Discover Keyword, New Keywords. You click here. So you see, this is what we're seeing in the video. Okay. So again, use your login. You can go to keywords, find it here. And if you're still lost, just put like I did before, just put a Keyword Planner, okay? It will ask you to log in, and once you log in, then you're there.
and enter your website's URL as the landing page. You can add some keywords too while you're at it. You'll then see a table of suggested keywords related to your business. Just add the keyword suggestion by clicking the plus sign to the left of the keyword ID.
So this video is very important because this is going to help for your assignment.
Remember to keep related keywords together in their own ad group. All you have to do is name your ad group and click Save these suggestions to your account. That's it. You're done. You've added keywords that people can use to search for the things you offer, namely, really nice flowers. And you've learned how campaigns, ad groups, and keywords all work together, which is an important concept. Remember, a campaign is a collection of ad groups, and an ad group is a collection of keywords and ads. Now it's time to talk about writing the ads associated with those keywords. Check out our next video, Write Great Text Ads.
So remember that classes are recorded. So for me, the most important thing is you pay attention to the concepts that I'm discussing, and if you have a question, you raise your hand. You don't need to, take a lot of notes or memorize anything because everything is recorded. So you can go back to the video if, you got lost a little bit somewhere. These are the same videos that are in your pass stream, okay? If I put a video that is not in your pass stream, I would let you know. So this was the, the first example in pass stream. So I don't know if you've ever heard of this, oh my God, I forgot the name of it, the share space office, what is it called? Well, this is a share space office. It's called SessSpace. The big one, I forgot right now the name is, I have the picture in my mind. But anyway, this place is SessSpace, okay? And here are some keywords that they chose for SessSpace: office space, SessSpace, service office space, creative office space. So these are places where you get shared, you pay monthly or even daily, and you get like your own office, and it could be a desk or you can have an actual office for yourself. Okay, we'll go back to that example in a second. Okay, so let's look at this video.
Did you know that keywords are the life and blood when it comes to SEO? That's why it's really crucial when you choose the keywords when you want to optimize your website. My name is Keisiko, and today we are going to discuss search intent. Let's get started. Now, keywords are categorized depending on what the search intent is. Like some customers would just look for information. Other people would then compare prices. Others know particularly what to buy, while there are some who are just looking for a store. Now, these intents are categorized into.
So when she talks about the different intents, okay, remember what we talked about in the marketing funnel. It's very different. People who already know your product and know your brand, and those who have never heard of it, because the intent. So if somebody's looking for prices, it's very different customer journey than if they never even heard of your product.
Four different types. First is the commercial. Second is the informational. Third is the navigational. And fourth, transactional. Navigational keywords usually pertain to brands. Customers use this when they are looking for a specific company like TrueLogic, or maybe a website like www.truelogic.com.ph. Informational keywords basically help you when you're looking for a solution to your problem, to a supporting data, or basically just to look for information. These keywords include the words what, when, and how. One trick that you could use for your website is to include these words, let's say maybe about your business on a blog or on your FAQ section.
Okay, so this is very important Okay, very important. You need to, when you look at the website for the company that we're doing for the assignment, start looking at the website not only to understand what they're offering, but how their website is designed, because eventually that's going to be very important. So for example, good websites, like she said, has something called free ask questions, or there are other ways where you can put questions. But if there is a question that matches with what somebody's looking for, then this is going to have a really chance of popping up first, because you have these questions in your website.
These keywords will help gain traffic on your.
Yes, Julio?
Yes, I started the assignment already, and I noticed that there have been changes to the assignment website since this course was developed. This question, we strictly stick to what is required from the course assignment. We ignore anything new that's been updated to the website. Is that correct?
You mean the website for the company? I forgot what's the name of the company. The event company.
Handstand, I believe it's called.
Handstand. Yes.
Yeah.
We've
added a new category to it.
Okay, I got it. Yes. So in terms of if it's a new category, ignore it, because the assignment only asks you to do 2, right?
Okay.
Now,
Right.
it's something that has to do with the content, so then the updates are fine. But don't deviate from what the instructions in the assignment are. So you have very precise instructions, right? And the good thing is, since you're doing already assignment, you will see that they already give you a slide presentation, and all you have to do is essentially fill it out. By the way, I recommend that presentation, that you download it with the answers that you're putting. You can just download it and you have it as a backup, just in case it gets lost, your answers or something. I always like to have a backup of, and I recommend that for your exams as well. All my exams are essays, okay? And I tell my students, look, you may want to save your answers in a Word document or something, just in case when you submit it, there is an issue and the answers get erased, whatever. You just want to have always a backup. Okay, so let's keep going on this video.
Now let's talk about commercial keywords. Commercial keywords is basically the bread and butter when it comes to SEO. This type of keyword is what customers use when they're looking for a specific product or service that they're interested in, but are still shopping or looking around. Now, this type of keyword is very essential to the business because it could bring traffic to the website. Commercial keywords are typically niche-based. An example would be SEO services, digital marketing services, or digital marketing for hotels and resorts. Last but not least are transactional keywords. This type of keyword are used by customers when they are already going to purchase a product, from the word transaction. Now, this type of keyword would usually contain the words for sale, purchase, and buy. Now, you could usually find these keywords for e-commerce websites like eBay, Amazon, or locally made Lazada. And that's it. Now, if you want to learn more about SEO, paid media, or everything and anything that is digital marketing, don't forget.
Okay. So basically, when you have keywords, they fall broadly into 4 categories, right? So actually, this example should have been here before the video. So we have the example. You have all these keywords, okay? Actually, I was not going to show this. I wanted you to tell me. But obviously, branded keywords include the brand. So Space, because you have here some keywords like Space. So that's a branded keyword. Short tail keyword is something like shoes. So in this case, it would be like office. So let's see. This is one of the Okay. Well, non-branded, so you have short tail, actually short tail keywords is 1 or 2 words. It doesn't matter if it's branded or unbranded. You have Office Space, that would be a non-branded keyword, but the most important one to think about, because these are the ones that you're going to be focusing on, are the long tail keywords. So now I notice I was using 2 different examples. I was using the shoes example. So you have in your past stream the shoes example. So the short tail keyword would be shoes. Okay, so let's use this. Okay, so shoes. Okay, the branded keyword for shoes would be, let's say, Nike, right? And the non-branded, let's say, is running shoes. But then the long tail keyword, which is a lot more specific, is red Nike men's running shoes. Okay, so let's go through this video and then I'll explain what he's going to show here, this chart, okay, which we'll talk about it in a second.
Are you struggling to get traffic from Google? Well, maybe it's because all of those juicy keywords are dominated by mega publications and authorities in your niche. Well, I've got 2.5 words for you that's going to help you solve this problem. Long tail keywords. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to find, choose, and rank for long tail keywords to get a crazy amount of search traffic. Stay tuned. What's up, SEOs? Samo here with Ahrefs, the SEO tool that helps you grow your search traffic, research your competitors, and dominate your niche. Now, today, we're going to dig deep into the growing your search traffic part with long tail keywords, and the byproduct will be dominating your niche. Now, I'm excited, and I hope you are too, so let's get to it. So what are long tail keywords? Long tail keywords are search queries with low individual search volume, but can have an enormous total search demand as a group. The name comes from the long tail of the so-called search demand curve, which is a graph that plots all keywords by their search volumes. For example, if you look at the topic of cute cats and a few long tail variations in Ahrefs Keywords Explorer, the first keyword would be at the head of the curve because of its popularity.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, this gentleman, he's selling a tool called Ahrefs, okay? So don't get concerned if you start seeing all these charts that he uses and you don't have them. You don't have them because you don't have this program. The reason why I like this video is for 2 things. First of all, he does a really good job explaining, you know, how to be very effective with keywords. And second of all, when you go out and start doing this for, let's say, a small business, then you could subscribe to a tool like this one, which will help you with the keywords. Now, for now, my recommendation is that you start using the tools that are provided for free. You don't need to buy anything. But anyway, just want to make sure that you don't get lost. So, so here you can see, well, he'll show us in a second, but cute cats, 70,000, right? 70,000 results and 70,000 clicks, okay, for cute cats. The problem with cute cats is that, think of words that are like generic. I mean, if you put a generic word like cute cats, you're gonna get so many websites that chances that your website will get, you know, that somebody will find your website is very, very low, unless you're Chewy or PetSmart or someone who is so big and popular that they'll appear first.
Cutest cat in the world will be a long tail keyword somewhere further down, and the other 2 phrases will be at the end of the tail, since they're unpopular ways to search for the topic, but there are numerous variations that would likely add up to a massive cumulative search volume. So long tail keywords are defined by search volume and not because the actual keywords are long or have X number of words in them. Naturally, in most cases, long-tail keywords are going to be lengthier since more words often communicate a more specific query, right? Let me quickly bust the myth on keyword length versus search volume because longer words don't always mean lower search volume. If you look at these 3 keyword phrases in Ahrefs Keywords Explorer, you'll see that the 4 and 5 word phrases have significantly more search volume than the 2-word phrase, lose weight. And I'm not just picking a topic that I know fits the bill. In fact, we studied 1.4 billion keywords and found that 9.3% of keywords with over 1 million monthly searches have 3 or more words. And if you look to the other side of the graph, you'll see that there...
So can somebody tell me why is it that in that particular sample, how to lose weight has a lot more searches than lose weight?
Probably because most of the time people really want to know how to get to the end result instead of just having to go through each one of those that would pop up if you just put lose weight.
Right, that's true. And also because this is the type of search, so put yourself in the shoes of you know, you have to put yourself sometimes in the shoes of a consumer and sometimes in the shoes of the marketer. If you're a consumer, and we all have been there, this is the type of search that you would put in a question, right? So this is and think about now with Alexa and Google Assist, this is the type of thing that you would search as a question. So that's also usually if you're looking for ways to lose weight, it's very unusual somebody puts in the search lose weight, how to lose weight.
There are still a good number of unpopular one-word keywords that have less than 50 searches per month as indicated in purple. So myth busted. Now every single topic has a demand curve and they fall into 2 distinct buckets. So topics that fall into bucket number 1 are usually broad and have a very long tail with a ton of relevant phrases. Looking at the top 10 ranking pages in Keywords Explorer for the query hairstyle, you'll see that most of these pages rank for thousands or tens of thousands of different relevant keywords. And bucket number 2 are usually topics that are much more focused and will have much fewer long-tail keywords. So for example, if you look at the SERP for squeeze page, you'll see that the number of keyword rankings is significantly less because the topic is so focused. Now these 2 types of long-tail keywords are clearly quite different, and it's important that you treat them differently too. So let's explore these buckets and I'll show you how to choose and find long-tail keyword phrases for each one. Bucket 1 is called the long tail of broad topics, and these tend to have a few high-volume search terms and a ton of long-tail variations. So the search query how to lose weight is the perfect example. If you look at the keyword rankings for Healthline's weight loss article, you'll see that they have around 9,500 keyword rankings in the US that rank in a top 10 position in Google. People are essentially looking for the same thing, but they're typing in all sorts of different variations with a same.
So keep in mind that keywords and everything that we're talking about here is also, he's talking about organic searches, right? So this is why he's talking about top 10 ranked in searches.
Same or similar search intent. So the head term here is clearly weight loss, which has a...
Okay, so this is the website. Let me see, I think this is the one that he shows. So it has 109,000 searches, and well, let me see. I think that's the
109,000 searches per month,
right.
Meaning that any queries with, let's say, 500 searches per month.
What's important is that for weight loss, this is the website that appear the highest. This is the one that has the highest, where most people are going. So the beauty of this is if you're in a simple, so let's say you have, you know, a small business that has to do with weight loss, okay? Well, you can go to these websites and see what are some of the keywords that they also use, okay? So that way, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because, again, for your assignment, there are many ways that you can improve whatever they're doing. So going to other people's website is what I call, you know, best practices. Not only that, you also want to see what your competitor is doing, okay?
Are 100% long tails, right? So let's filter for these keywords that still rank in the top 10 and you'll see that there are still over 9,100 keywords. These are the long tail keywords for the topic.
So again, so let's look at this, because I don't want you to be concerned thinking, oh my God, how am I going to find all this information? This is for the for Ahrefs. This is the product that they're selling. And he's showing us different things that you can do with this tool. So this is very important, because if you're going to do this and start doing this professionally, and if you're doing it for a small business, then you know that even in addition to what Google offers you, you have this type of tools to help you find, keywords.
On weight loss, and they account for 96% of this page's keyword ranking. But this is much more than just another fun fact. There are two very actionable tips to take away from this. Number one, by ranking high for this head term, you'll almost always rank for the thousands of other long tail searches. So when you pick your topics, always look to the ones that have the largest total search traffic potential. And number two is equally important. If Google merges a long tail keyword into a bigger topic, then there's no point in targeting it, right? Think about it. We already know that Google will rank one broad article for thousands of search queries. So by trying to publish dedicated articles that target a single long tail keyword within the broad topic, you'll achieve nothing but wasted time. Here's some proof. This article from Healthline generates around 490,000 search visitors globally each month, and they rank for a ton of keywords. But here's the thing. Not all topics with a ton of long tail keywords have super high search volumes. For example, if you look at these search volume metrics, then you'll see that SEO Tips has more than double the search volume of Submit Your Website to Search Engines. So at first glance, it seems like a better topic to target, right? Well, not necessarily. If we look at the SERP for SEO Tips, then you'll see that the top ranking pages get significantly less traffic than the search volume for the main keyword, and they don't rank for that many different keywords either. Now let's look at the SERP for the query Submit Website to Search Engines. You'll see quite the opposite effect. The traffic numbers are more than triple the search volume of the top keyword, and most of these pages rank for thousands of keywords. So again, always analyze the SERP to see the total traffic these pages generate, and look at the number of keywords these pages rank for. An easy way to find these long tail topics is to look up a popular website in Site Explorer. So I'll search for healthline.com. Next, I'll go to the top pages report, which will show us their pages that get the most search traffic. And since we're talking about topics with tons of long tail keywords, let's sort the results in descending order by the number of keywords each page ranks for. In order to identify these long tail topic opportunities, you want to look at these columns.
So the traffic, but I was going to say, you see the top keyword. Now keep in mind that the example that he's using is not really a very good example compared to your assignment, because your assignment is about something very specific. This page probably has tons of articles and literature about health loss. The most important thing, especially if you're paying for the ad, because that's where it's very painful, if somebody clicked on your ad and when they arrive to your page has nothing to do with what they were looking for. So for me, the most important thing about the keywords is that the person that clicks, well, first that they can find you, and then second and most importantly is that the person that finds you is looking for what you're offering. Because if they go to they click, you pay for that advertising, and the person says, oh no, this has nothing to do with what I'm looking for. So this for me is
traffic, keywords, top keyword, its volume, and position. So let's analyze their top pages and set a checklist to identify the most obvious long tail topic opportunities. First, the page must rank in the top 5 for their top keyword. Next, they should rank for lots of keywords and get a good amount of search traffic. So far, so good. The final point is that the page should get significantly more traffic than you'd expect based on their ranking position compared to the search volume of their top keyword. And in Healthline's case, that only excludes a couple of these pages. So now we have a ton of long tail topics that we could create for our own website if we were in the health niche. And I actually have to point out this one with a top keyword, bumps on skin, that has a search volume of 8,400, but the page gets over 100,000 search visitors each month. That's bananas.
So you see that particular example is very specific, right? Gray skin bump. So it's very, very specific, but it has a lot of traffic.
Now, it's important to note that you should also look at the number of referring domains that the page has. And this should be a good indication of how many links you'll need in order to get similar rankings and be competitive in search. Now, why should you care as an SEO? Because by picking topics with more long-tail keywords, you'll generate a lot more organic traffic than the search volume of just the main keyword, since you'll be ranking for so many other long-tail variations. These long-tail topics are ideal for established websites that can or have a history of ranking for head terms. And by ranking for your head term, there's an element of predictability to know that your pages will rank for tons of other long-tail variations with relative ease. All right, so we've covered the long tail of broad topics. There's a completely different type of long tail keyword which has its own bucket, and that's topical long tail keywords. These keywords represent individual topics of their own rather than being part of a bigger topic. So for example, if we look up keyword cannibalization in Keywords Explorer, you'll see that this query has...
I'm going to stop this here now because we have a lot more to cover, and I didn't realize when I saw this video that it was so long. Okay, so basically when you have, let's talk about this graph a second. So when you have words that are very, let's call them generic, right, like shoes, you're going to have very high cost and competition because there is so many websites, okay, that use the word shoes, and you're competing with a Nike store, okay? So your probability of conversion is conversion, meaning converting somebody to actually buy your product, is going to be very low, okay? Now, if you have men's shoes, well, you have a higher probability because a lot of the websites that sell shoes maybe for women's shoes. But still, you still have a lot of competition, maybe not as much as shoes only, and low probability of conversion. I'm sorry. Now, when you can get, so then red Nike men's running shoes. So that's very descriptive, very specific. Then there is not that many websites that probably offer red Nike men's running shoes. So then you have less competition, right? And higher probability of conversion because you don't have as much. So, I mean, these things are, this is very logical, right? The more competition you have, the lower the probability that they're going to buy from you. Again, assuming you are a small business. If you are Nike, then you have a high probability of conversion, even if there is a lot of competition. But most of us are going to be involved in small businesses. Small businesses compete with very big companies. So that's why you want to be in this area where you have less competition, but you have a high probability of conversion. Okay, so let me see, because you notice we only have, well, what we'll do is, again, your assignment for what we're covering right now is not due until next week. So if we don't finish today, these things that I want to cover, we'll finish on Wednesday. So, but these are, let's look at this video. This video is also very important.
Next match type we're going to talk about today is phrase match. It's a great idea. I like Dr. Evil. Phrase match. Let me tell you a little story. 7 years ago, when I was learning AdWords for the first time, I, like many first-time AdWords users, thought that keywords were a very simple concept. You pick a couple of words, you put them in your campaign, and then Google will help you find some reliable traffic for those particular keyword phrases. After spending $1,000 and wasting the vast majority of that money, I realized that keywords were a bit more complicated than that.
We're talking about match types. So there's 4 different types of match types. There's broad match, there's broad match modified, there's phrase match, and there's exact match. So each match type has a different level of control. Broad match keywords will match to lots of variations of the keyword that you put in. We call that search terms. Whereas exact matches, there'll be way less variables. You're actually looking for that exact keyword, and your search terms will be a lot more specific. So to start, we're going to dive into the most broad type of match type, broad match keywords. So broad match keywords have no symbols next to them. If your keyword is car parts, you would put it in just like you would expect. Car parts. Now you may be thinking to yourself, okay, everyone searching for car parts is going to see my ad. Well, you're wrong. With broad match keywords, if you put in the keyword car parts, you might show up for car parts. You might also show up for car accessories, but you also might show up for careers that need a car or images of cars with dogs. You could really show up for anything somewhat related to cars or parts. So although broad match keywords will get you the cheapest cost per click, it's also not going to get you.
So the reason why that happens is because Google is looking for things that have to do with the word cars, okay, and with the word parts, with both of them together and both of them separately. So it's looking for anything that has to do with the word cars. So that's why he said, like, if there is a dog in a car, that might appear too.
The most precise traffic that you're looking for, and your conversion rates will be generally lower than a lot of the other match types. So if you're using broad match keywords, make sure you use the search terms report, comb through it, see what you're actually showing up for, because I can promise you, you're not actually showing up for car parts.
The next match type we're going to talk about today is broad match modified keywords. Now, broad match modified keyword is one step up on the scale of specificity from broad match keywords, and it basically gives you, the advertiser, a bit more control in terms of when your ads are being displayed for certain search queries from your customers. Now, a broad match modified keyword basically allows you, the advertiser, to very clearly tell Google which words in your keyword are necessary for your ad to display.
Let's take car parts, for example. If you put a plus sign in front of cars, you're telling Google that the word cars has to be there. However, the word part is still broad. So you still might show up for car accessories or car pictures or car images, because those are synonyms of parts according to Google. But because you put the plus sign in front of cars, cars will always have to be there. Now, if you put a plus sign in front of cars and a plus sign in front of accessories, you're going to show up for search terms that have to include cars and have to include accessories. Now, there can be words in between it, and there can be words outside of it, but the word cars and the word parts will be there. So, for example, you'll show up for great car parts, you'll show up for blue car parts, you'll show up for car greatest parts. You'll show up for them all. As long as the word car and parts are in there, you will show up. Next keyword match type we want to talk about is phrase match. Phrase match is very similar to broad match modified, but instead of using the plus signs, you use the air quotes or the real quotes inside of your keyboard, real quotes, or computer. So the way phrase match works is you put quotes around the keyword that you want to make sure exists in the search. Now, this is very similar to broad match modified, but different in one major way. So if you have the keyword car parts and you put it in quotes to turn it into phrase match, you cannot have a word show up in between that phrase. So for example, if you use car parts, phrase match, you will show up for best car parts, good car parts, and even blue car parts. But you won't show up for car Jeep parts, or car the best parts, or car image parts.
The fourth match type we're going to talk about today is exact match. Now, exact match is used when businesses want to be very specific in terms of the types of traffic that they're targeting on Google AdWords. So to use Todd's example from earlier, if I'm an advertiser and I have the keyword car parts, I'm telling Google that I only want to show up when someone goes to google.com and types car parts, and that's it. Nothing before, nothing after, nothing in between, only the keyword car parts.
So exact match keywords will result in search terms that are almost exactly equal to the keywords. Now, a couple of months ago, Google announced that exact match keywords will show up to those variants. So if you do exact match car parts, you will show up for car part and car parts and cars part. the plurals, and maybe some very small misspellings. The variations won't be as wild as broad match, won't be as wild as broad match modified. And this brings me to how to use search terms and negative keywords. So with all of these different keyword match types, you want to look at the search terms report. If your search terms are all over the place, you're probably using too much broad match or too much broad match modified. If your keywords are very, very tight knit, but you're not getting enough volume, you're probably using too much exact match or too much phrase match. So the first thing you want to do is really dive into your search terms and see, am I getting the volume I want, and am I getting the specificity I want? You kind of have to balance that. Then, when you go through your search terms report, you can actually you can sort it by cost and look at what isn't working, what isn't converting. You can then check them off. You can add them to negative keywords, and then you can tell Google, I don't want to show up for these keywords anymore. Now, keep in mind, when you're adding negative keywords, you can add those in as exact match. You can add those in as phrase match. You can add those in as broad match. I recommend using the search terms report, adding them in as exact match, negative keywords, and then as you continue to see things pop up, maybe certain brands pop up or certain words pop up, adding those in as broad match.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Hawk Talks.
So the negative one, so for example, let's say you have, let's go back to the shoes example. Let's say you sell sports shoes, but you sell only Nike, you don't sell Adidas, right? And people are looking for, or some of the terms that are appearing when they search for you are for Adidas. So you can put not, your negative becomes the Adidas to make sure that people don't, oh, here it is, here's the, so this example was in my subconscious maybe because I had already from somewhere else. So let's go through this example. So you have the broad match, okay, would be tennis shoes, right? So people look for anything that has the word tennis and everything that has the word shoes, okay? But then you can have just about anything because there's so, you can have tennis matches, which has nothing to do with shoes. So this is the problem with broad match. That you could look for any combination with this. Now, if you put the modifier, you put, okay, it needs to have the word tennis, okay, and the word shoes. Then it becomes a lot more targeted. So here, think of this as this is going to everybody, right? Because everybody who's looking on the internet for shoes could land in this page, but you don't care about those, many of these people, because let's say you sell only tennis shoes for women. Well, that's very specific, and you're getting a lot of hits for people that are not in your group, in your target group. When you put the plus sign, then okay, now you're not going to get a lot of people that you were getting before, because you said, okay, it needs to have the word tennis and the word shoes. But when you put the plus sign, it could be anything between the word tennis and the word shoes. So so this buy tennis shoes could return your ad is more targeted, but this is also going to have it's not going to be as specific. When you put it in quotes, then you're starting to get very, very specific, because the ads need to show the exact phrase, tennis shoes. Now, if you're selling this, and this one becomes really specific. Now, if you're selling women's tennis shoes, you can put, here's the negative. What happens, they didn't even show an example. You put the keyword should not have men. So if somebody puts men tennis shoes, then your website doesn't come up. If they put tennis shoes, they can still look at it, but it doesn't have. So this is the negative, and the negative match, I think, is very, very important, because, well, you'll see later when we start doing the module on how to look at the word that he was referring to, you're going to see in the report that you're getting a lot of hits for things that have nothing to do with what you offer in your website. And for the assignment that you have, we're nowhere near to this area yet, but what you will notice is that what they offer is pretty specific. So you want to make sure that it's as specific as possible. It's also a very specific target, which, well, you'll see later on that sometimes when you're very specific on your target, it becomes more and more difficult to find that very specific target. So, you want to be specific, but then you also need to understand your shopper to see if the people that you're looking for don't need to be so specific. So here is some examples, okay, of keywords. So when you go to Google, and you can do this yourself, I think, let me see, okay. When you go to Google, let me just go to Google and do it myself. Let's see. I want to do that example, but I want to actually do it in Google. So there is a very good trick. Of course, because preparing the lesson, I already had done it, right? So here you have your ads. And obviously what's going to come up first are the most popular one. But here is something that is interesting. If you go all the way to the bottom of the page, this is the type of thing that if you're looking for something, you may not go and look at it. But this is what you need to look at when you're, helping somebody with their search. It tells you right here which are the keywords or terms most searched for when people put hotels in Paris. So people put best hotels in Paris, Shangri-La Hotel in Paris, 5-star hotels in Paris, best luxury hotels in Paris. So if you notice that the results is very much the way this is saying. If you see, first thing that it shows are the best hotels in Paris, right? Because typically when somebody puts hotels in Paris, what Google does is automatically it tries to see what is it that most people are looking for when they're looking for hotels in Paris, and usually what they're looking for is which ones are the best, or maybe they want to shop around, like Expedia and find out which is, the least expensive. So you see this one shows a price, free cancellation. So what's interesting is doing your own searches for what you're going to be being searched for is a good way to understand the keywords that you need to use. You see, and they put it here: accommodation, hotels. Okay, those are keywords. Those are all keywords. Paris, of course, because Paris is one of the words that I put, right? These are the words that I put, but you can see what else is associated with those words. But my point is, go all the way to the bottom and you can see what are the keywords that are most used. Okay, let's go back to over here. So you see, this is the same thing.
So, you've created your first search campaign. The next step is to set up ad groups, keywords, and ads. Let's get started. Now, a campaign is a collection of ad groups. What's that, we hear you say?
Is this the same video?
An ad group is just a collection of keywords and their ads. Going back to our flower shop example, you might have a campaign for flowers and an ad group for each flower type. In this video, we'll show you how to pick the right keywords. But before we jump in, let's go over what they are and how they work with people's searches. Let's say someone types a search query into the Google search box and are then shown search results. Keywords give you the chance to show your ads as part of those answers. Think of them as words which trigger your ads to appear. The key is to pick keywords that match searches relevant to your business. So if someone's search matches some special flowers you're selling, your ad can show. The easiest way to find keywords related to your business is with the Keyword Planner tool in Google Ads.
Yeah, I think this is the same video.
Takes you here after you create a new campaign. Take a look at the Get Keywords Ideas section. You can also find the Keyword Planner in Google Ads by clicking on the tool icon in the upper right corner. Start off by telling the Keyword Planner a little bit about the business, all the important stuff, like your website's URL and that you sell flowers in San Francisco. Go ahead and enter your website's URL as the landing page. You can add some keywords too while you're at it. You'll then see a table of suggested keywords related to your business. Just add the keyword suggestions.
Okay, so what's important here is when you look at the suggestions, you want to make sure that you read the suggestions and make sure that it fits. Because here it's giving you suggestions for San Francisco. Well, what happens is that this is a San Francisco flower delivery. But anyway, I'm just gonna, let's say one of the keywords did not show or show something that you do not sell. So then you don't want to use that keyword, even though it's one of the suggestions. Or you want to keep going all the way. So instead of clicking like the top 5, you want to keep going all the way and looking for the ones that best fit with your business.
Clicking the plus sign to the left of the keyword ideas. Remember to keep related keywords together in your own ad group. Finally, all you have to do is name your ad group and click Save These Suggestions to Count. That's it, you're done. You've added keywords that people can use to search for the things you offer, namely, really nice flowers. And you've learned how campaigns, ad groups, and keywords all work together, which is an important concept. Remember, a campaign is a collection of ad groups, and an ad group is a collection of keywords and ads. Now it's time to talk about writing ads associated with those keywords. Check out our next video, Write Great Text Ads.
So again, like we were talking about before, oh, this is the website I was looking for. Okay, one second. Do we have? Yes. So when you go to this, let me see if I can go to the website directly. This is a really good thing that you have in your. One second. Oh no, it's not going to. I thought that this would open automatically. When you get to this part in your, in your module, and what I'll do is I'll have it on Wednesday because we only have like 4 minutes left. But here it tells you a really good way to select your keywords and how to do all the stuff that we're talking about. Okay. But the key thing that I was telling you before is think like a customer when you create your list, okay? So as a customer, meaning if you were looking for the products that that you're offering, how would you go about searching for it, okay? So this is the most important thing. So for example, your brand, okay, and so on. So we'll go over these 7 tips for success next class, okay? Now the good thing is, like I said before, the assignment that is due today is the quiz for section 2, and on Thursday is the one for section 3, I believe. Now, let me see. I forget which section is which. Okay. Yeah, for section 3. And section 3 is campaign and ad networks. So what we're covering today is not due until next week. Now, that doesn't mean that you can work ahead. As a matter of fact, I suggest that you work ahead. It's going to be better for you. So, for example, after everything we covered today with keywords, and we'll finish that example that I told you about on Wednesday, if you already did section 3, jump to section 4. Okay, you're ready to do section 4 already. But next on Wednesday, what I like to do is I like to start covering some of the most important marketing concepts so that you understand all this stuff that you're doing, where does it fit? Because, okay, you can be hired to do this type of stuff for a particular website, but, or, for a particular website, for the ads of that website. But then again, what I want is all of you to at least know all the main concepts in terms of marketing and digital marketing. So we're going to cover a lot of other things as well. Okay, we only have 1 minute left, but if anybody has any questions?
Professor, is the quiz found on Blackboard or is it on PathStream?
PathStream is on Blackboard. So let's go back. So I guess you were not present at the beginning. Let's see.
Because I saw that you open it on Blackboard, but when you go to PathStream, it's just a different modules. I just want to make sure it's the right.
It's the same one. It's the same quiz. You can open it directly from PathStream, or you can open it directly from the module.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Somebody, because what happens is, Julio, I'll let you to speak in a second. I'm not, believe it or not, as the instructor, I cannot do some of the things that you guys can do. So sometimes when you tell me the quizzes, like if I click on the quiz, it won't let me do the quiz. Somebody who has taken the quiz, can you just confirm what I said, that you can take the quiz directly from either, directly from PathStream? So when I say directly from PathStream, well, one thing that I know for sure is that when you go, so let's go over here. So this is PathStream, right? You see here you have project A. Here you have the quiz. If you click it here, you see in my case it doesn't. Okay, sorry, I was mistaken. Return to your learning management system to take the quiz. Okay. So it's telling you to go back to Blackboard. Sorry, I didn't realize that because I haven't really tried to take the quiz myself. So then what you have to do is you go back to, I just want to make sure that I leave this open. Hold on a second. So you go back to your, all the way to, so I apologize. For the quizzes, you do have to go back to Blackboard. So you go here, PathStream, you have, so this is something that has changed. When I taught last semester with PathStream, it would let you take the quizzes from there too. So quiz for, I guess section 2 is the one, no, section 3. Here is the quiz, okay? So here's where you are gonna do your quiz. So you click here and you begin your quiz. Okay, Julio Lopez, you had your hand first, then I'll call Julio Enrique. Yes, what's your question?
Yes, could you possibly make your PowerPoints available in the class to download?
Oh, sure, no problem. I'm gonna, so here where it says class notes, I'll put my PowerPoint presentation. What happened is that the presentation that I have to cut it into the things that I've covered so far because my presentation is for like the next 3 chapters. Okay, Julio Enrique, have a question?
Yeah, I do. So for assignment, I just did what you did. I went to PathStream and then I clicked on assignment, how to turn it in, and then it says go to Blackboard and then go to content. I went back to Blackboard and I don't see the content tab.
Are you talking about the assignment or are you talking about the quiz?
The assignment.
The assignment where? Here? Okay, let's see.
Wait,
Okay, again, mine is a little different than yours. We as a student. Okay, so now it's taking you here. You know, I'm going to talk to the people from PathStream because they try to make it easier and sometimes they make it harder. So the assignment, actually, you go all the way from here. Okay, start project, you see? And then it says launch lab. And when you do launch lab, you're gonna get this, you're going to get this thing, and you start filling it out, okay? And you have to follow the instructions, all right?
Right, thank you.
Okay, somebody who has done assignment A, this is the way you did it, right? There's somebody
Yeah, that's how I did it.
okay, again, if you run into any issues, let's say you don't find your way here, you're stuck, right? Let's say you're, I don't know, let's say it sends you somewhere else. Say you're stuck and you cannot get to your assignment. Now, one thing that I know for sure is you cannot do assignment B until you submit assignment A. Let's say that you're, sorry, that it always goes. So let's say you're stuck over here and you can't get to where you need to get. It's not opening or it's not, or just click over here in the chat and write, you know, I'm having trouble getting to assignment 1, or it's not loading. And you're gonna get somebody to help you right away. And I know the 2 people who help in technical support, and they're excellent because they've helped me also, you know, set up the course and all this stuff. And like I told you, and if nobody answers, usually you can leave your information, but if worse comes to worse, just send them an email. Pathstream, okay, sorry, help@pathstream.com. That's also in your syllabus, and I mentioned it the first day of class. So my advice is, okay, obviously you need to do quiz number 2 today. That's due today. But, you know, today, start working on section 3 and assignment A. It's not due until next Thursday, but at least to make sure that it's working. Okay, you don't need to fill it out or anything yet. You just want to make sure. Well, the quizzes, obviously, when you do quiz 2, you don't need to test the quiz here because it will work. You already know, you go directly from Pathstream. But for the assignment, you know, what he was talking about loading that module, if it doesn't load up, then communicate, get in touch with, you know, with Pathstream, because this is, you know, this is the thing that, so today, do me a favor, everybody test that your assignment A module is working. If you go to the chat, this is very important, and they don't answer, or you're getting into problems to be able to submit it on time, okay, just send me an email and you will not be penalized. You will never be penalized for something that is technical. If you had an issue, a technical issue, loading the assignment or sending the assignment, submitting the assignment, and you're waiting for them to help you, you will not get penalized, obviously, because it's not your fault. But you just need to let me know, okay? So again, this stuff at the beginning is the only time that you will have issues, because you're loading this for the first time, you're doing the quizzes for the first time, you're starting the assignment for the first time. But once you get it going, then you shouldn't have any more problems. So again, I'm not going to be so strict on the due date for these, okay? Because I understand that maybe if you run into a problem, that you may not get the chat to answer right away. Okay? All right, well, we are late, but this is important. And anybody has any questions? So today is the day to do your quiz for section 2 and test your A assignment that is working, that at least you can see it. You don't need to start filling it out. If you have an issue, go to the chat or the help at Pathstream. If they don't answer and you cannot submit your quiz or assignment on time, send me an email and you won't be penalized. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Professor.